is also leaving some dramatic marks on the back glass, and these do not rub away. Obviously, not everyone is toting around scraps of aluminum in their pockets though, so let's jump to something a little more common, like a coin. Nowadays, these are made from a blend of copper and nickel, and you can see marks appearing on the glass, but these are temporary, as you'll see in a second. The brass house key also transfers material to the back glass, but both of the dust streaks from these common items wipe completely away. Switching over to our titanium rod, this guy ranks at a most 6, which means that this might be beyond just a material transfer, and we might actually be damaging the glass. I say we because if you've watched this far, you're now an accomplice. But to be fair, titanium isn't something we normally find in real life, especially now that Apple has shifted its phone production lines back to aluminum. Finally, we have my 4-aught high-voltage copper wire. I bought about 20 feet of this stuff back when I was working on my electric Humvee project, before I realized there was a difference between peak amperage and continuous amperage. And I really only needed 2-aught. It was an expensive mistake, but at least now we get to see what happens when 99% copper comes in contact with the textured back glass. Kinda turns into a powder, almost like a makeup brush for a clinker. If I pull a solid wire from some Romex, it still leaves some trace dust on the surface, but thankfully, with a little moisture, the copper rouge wipes completely away, leaving behind no residue. The 90% silver coin left behind the most apparent marks yet, almost like a silver crayon, but it wipes completely off. Thumbs up for that. The 90% pure gold coin leaves behind trace flakes of gold, and again these wipe completely away. So in reality, it's just the stainless steel, bare aluminum, and bare titanium metals that are unable to wipe off. I'll dribble some isopropyl alcohol on the glass. It's a mild solvent, but is still unable to clean up the metal markings any better than just wiping them away. So it's something to keep in mind. We do have about 100 other solid elements on the periodic table that we haven't tried yet, so there could be more undiscovered reactions, and if this video gets more than 2 million likes, I'll try plutonium. The top camera is a 48 megapixel ultra-wide, while the lower is the regular 48 megapixel sensor, which doubles as a 2x optical telephoto, both covered with Apple's version of Sapphire on a small glass plateau, next to a single-colored plastic LED flash sticking up through a hole cut in the glass. I think it's interesting that for the first time ever last year, more people bought the regular iPhone than the Pro iPhone, and I imagine that again it'll be the same this year with the 17s. More people are realizing that all phones are basically the same, and what really matters is how much it's going to hurt when it falls in your face at night while doom scrolling. Along with, of course, the hurt of the price tag. This 6.3-inch 3000 nit 120 Hz OLED panel lasted about 30 seconds under the heat from my lighter before completely recovering.